let me get into this, because right now I'm feeling just down as hell. So, first of all, I want to apologize for my lack of productivity over these past few weeks. I did have a bit of assignments to go through, but past that, I just gave up on everything, and I just temporarily, for those 2 weeks, decided to, okay, let's just slack off, because I just want to relax. But guess what? I didn't just want to relax. I wanted to waste away at this point. Because guess what? What is relaxing going to do for this channel? I can't relax too much. I have to get grinding. Because one of my biggest dreams is to have this as something that I can look back on and say, it was successful. My dreams back then were successful. I want to look back when I'm 17, 18 years old and say that. So that's the point, and the problem is, I am missing it. I am missing it throughout these 2 week periods. I could have done so much, and I did nothing. Breaks my heart that I did it, honestly. But besides that, I wanted to just say to you guys, thank you so much for not losing hope in me, because I can tell that even though you guys are focused on other people, no one unsubscribed, so I'm thankful that you guys didn't lose hope in me, and that frankly motivates me not to lose hope in myself. And I know I shouldn't really be saying that I was losing hope myself, but I definitely was. Because every time I slacked, I worried. I'd be like, why am I acting like this? Why the hell am I sitting on my ass instead of actually doing the thing that can get me my dream? This is the problem. Because I did nothing, nothing will come of it. So from now, I am making a promise to you guys. I don't know if it'll be broken or kept. I don't know what will happen to that and what ordeals it will go through, but I will try my best to make sure I'm consistent and make sure I'm actually there posting content for you guys. Because I don't want you guys losing hope on me, and frankly, if that happens, then I end up losing hope in myself. Because guess what? I wasn't able to keep that audience. I wasn't able to keep them there. And it's all because I slacked off. But no more. It's time it ends. And let's begin this video. Because I have yapped long enough and far enough. I have gone a bit deep, but now's the time to stop. So we're going to go into today's topic. Alright, so yeah. Before we get into today's topic, I want to let you know that if you're someone who's coming here light-hearted or with no intention of learning at all, scram skedaddle, like Brody Shreds would say. So, do you guys ever actually think that life can be taken seriously? Because I guarantee you that now that you think about it, now that you regret, only when you regret do you think about the importance of what you can do with your life. Because the title and topic of this video is that life is not something to while around time with. Life is not something to suck off with, and it's not something to have a goose chase over. Life is not a goose chase. It's not meant to be a goose chase. And because of all the mistakes you do that are pretty much just extremely silly, they're unreasonable, they cause these goose chases to happen. So I'm going to explain to you why and how you can avoid this. So first off, physical health. So first, do you work out? I want to just get a little gauge here. How many of you actually work out? I can tell a decent bit of you work out, judging by people who watch this video. Are you working out casually, or are you working out because you actually want some gains? You actually want a better physique? And if that's true, then you can commend yourself for that. Commend yourself for that intention, but don't push it too far. There needs to be a borderline where you're decently big and stronger, but you can also have great agility and great power output so you can excel athletically. Because really, that's the main point. And the main point isn't to get as jacked as Sebum or Chris Bumstead. It's to be athletic and be capable of more in your sport. Say, I want to go into martial arts and I want to be good at martial arts. I go to the gym and my exercises are there. So I can not only build muscle, but build muscle and mobility as well as power to help the sport that I am doing and to help my performance in that sport. That's why you go to the gym. You don't go to the gym so that you can get legs like Chris Bumstead. You go to the gym so that you can perform like an athlete. So that when you go into a fight, you're not stiff. You're not stiff as hell. You actually have a decent guard and you're not stiffed up like this. You don't want to be going up to someone and be stiff as hell, and when you throw a punch, you lose all energy. You don't want to go up to them like that. So training athletically and going into that sport will help you learn these things. So if you're working out, do it for a purpose, and that is the main lesson of this first topic. Now, finance. So right now as a teenager, you shouldn't really be worrying too much about finance, because honestly, if you pick a skill and work on that skill to a decent level where you can start making money, and it honestly doesn't really matter how much time you have, if you have all the resources you need, then you can do it. Depending on your condition, it might be more rushed, it might be even harder, and that way you have to work even harder so you can get the money you want and to be able to do the things you want with that money. So yeah, if that's the situation, then stop putting too many compromises and go for it. Because honestly, the only real compromise you should have is for eating, sleeping, and talking with your family. Because those are the only real compromises you really need. So, if you're an adult, right? So, I don't know how many people are adults watching this video. So if you're an adult right now, I think that's when you should be worrying more and more about finances, because you're not just a teenager living under the roof of your parents anymore. You're literally coming out of it, and you're preparing yourself for moving out of your house and having to raise your own crib. So you need to be focusing more and more on that. And with financial affluency comes presentability. If you look like shit and expect to get a job, like when I say look like shit, I mean you don't have decent looks, or you don't have a decent presentability for them to actually want to hire you. Like you're coming into that interview looking musty as hell, you're not going to make the interview. If you say come in there and actually have a decent comb over, you've washed your face, you've basically groomed yourself properly, and you look decent, then you have a chance of making the job. If you have a decent fit as well, because fits also play better. If you have the right fit and you know the dress code for that interview, that will also boost you a ton. So for financial affluency, I would say don't worry too much about it and just focusing on leveling up your skills. If you are still in your teenage years, because you're likely still in school and you won't really know too much about how to make money that easily yet. But if you're an adult, you need to start finding more ways, because I guarantee that you are unintentionally preparing yourself for moving out of your house. So I don't want you moving out and end up barely getting by. I want you to actually not try and still get by. That's the thing. So now that you've taken this in, let's move on to the final thing. Mental health. You need to take more and more care of your mental health, because I guarantee through the periods of time you go through working and trying to manage all of that stuff I just told you, you're probably going to feel very, very, very drained. I can tell you that. So I want you to actually prioritize it, because not only it will reduce cortisol levels, but it will also make you feel more alive. It'll free you of tensions. It'll make you feel like life is actually worth living. And that's because you're not obsessing over anything anymore. And let me tell you, if you want to increase your testosterone, the opposite of testosterone is cortisol, not estrogen. Cortisol boosts estrogen and lowers testosterone. And if you prioritize your mental health, you reduce cortisol and therefore increase testosterone. So if you want to increase testosterone, then just prioritize your mental health. That's the basic thing. You may be eating all the best foods in the world apparently that can cater to your testosterone. For example, red meat, egg. You could be eating literally anything that can help you with that. And you still won't get through if your mental health is rock bottom. So focus on that and focus on making your mind steel. Focus on making it unshakable, and focus on preventing the ordeals of life from destroying you, mentally especially. Because it may destroy you physically, but most of the time, it won't really damage you physically, it will destroy you mentally, and automatically, if you have some problem with mental health that leads to physical symptoms, like in stress you end up binge eating, or in stress you don't eat, you end up losing a lot of nutrition, a lot of good muscle, a lot of good nutrients and protein, carbs, all those nutrients that help you stay alive and keep you energized. You're going to lose all of them if you don't prioritize it. There are links to mental and physical health, judging by how people, as I mentioned earlier, when they stress enough, they either binge eat or they don't eat. And in my case, when I'm too stressed, I frankly don't eat as much. When I'm not as stressed, I eat as much as I want, and I frankly don't really care. But when I end up feeling a certain amount of stress, I feel terrible. And then I don't really feel like eating because I'm like, I want to sort this out, I want to sort that out. What I will tell you guys for this is, for mental health, simply calm down. It doesn't matter. What you can do is meditate, do something you like for a few minutes, as long as it's not an addiction that's destroying you, as long as you're not doing the bad sort of self-destruction. The only good sort of self-destruction is eliminating your negative qualities. I want you to focus on something that is also helpful and not only takes the stress out of you, but also doesn't physically and mentally endanger you. So let me tell you this, when you are in your breaks, do not destroy yourself with all these disgusting things. Instead, when you're in your breaks, just relax, meditate, even watch a few YouTube videos that you like. As long as they're not completely useless and harm you, that's the only point. I'm just saying. Just make sure they're as helpful as possible, but you like them. Another thing is you need to give yourself the proper education. Watch a couple videos about mental health. Try and learn more about it and learn how you can maintain it. Because at this point, mental health can never actually be mastered. You can't actually master your mental health. You can only maintain it. And that's something multiple people have said. And if you can't maintain it, then it will cause a bunch of problems. And I've already gotten into them. So with that in mind, please guys, prioritize your mental health. And the reason why is because you will not only boost your testosterone from lowering cortisol levels, you will also prevent yourself from having the worst thoughts and going into the worst addictions to fill those voids in your soul. So I am telling you firmly and only one final time, guys, don't do it. And if you do it, whatever happens to you is your own fault. It's not my fault, it's not your dad's fault, it's not your mum's fault, it's not your friend's fault, it's your fault. Because you did it. You got into that addiction, and now it's your fault that you're entangled in it. And you're the only one who can save yourself. So you can take all the advice in the world, you can take all the help in the world, but in the end, only you are going to break from that addiction. No one else is going to break it for you. So keep that in mind. Everything I mentioned right now is not under anyone else's control but you. You can control most aspects of it. You can't control your genetics, you can't really control what kind of financial demographic you come from, you can't control what race you come from, you can't control what cognitive illnesses you have that can probably bolster it, like ADHD, etc. You can't really do anything about that. Those are out of your control. The best you can do is probably take pills or something to mitigate it or stop it from going amok. And the best you can do with the other two is just work at this point. If you have shit genetics, really, you can look insanely good. You just have to work extremely hard. You just have to work much harder and find more techniques than anyone else has bothered to find and be the first to do something like that. That's all you necessarily have to do for both financial, demographic, and race, as well as genetics. So, thank you guys so much for watching and listening to me so far, and I'm so sorry for being a wimp and being lazy over those past 2 weeks. I could have done so much more, but past that, I am sure we'll get into a good start. I am sure this will get better, and I'm sure I will do better. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and make sure to click the notification bell so you don't miss any more of my uploads, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.